us, let's gather round, an adventure is always waiting. The storytelling means for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners and our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. It is December, and of course, you know, December is our favorite time of the year because we have all of the Christmas cheer. And for those who missed it, I just rhymed. Year and cheer. And so we are all around. I know we've had several Christmas tree lightings, we've had several concerts, and everyone is loving the lights and the festivities. And of course, I wish everyone a continued very joyous Christmas time. We are going to share just a few updates with you, just some reminders, especially as it relates to scholarship opportunities. We know that our students sometimes overlook or don't pay too much attention, and this is Christmas time, and so we're busy with the various activities. But I just want to update us and share the scholarship opportunities which are currently available. And so we have a few. We have the NIA scholarship opportunity, financial assistance opportunity, and that is an annual opportunity for persons. You of course do not have to be employed by the Nevis Island administration to qualify. And so the Ministry of Human Resources is pleased to inform you that we are now accepting applications for persons wishing to pursue higher education and are interested in receiving financial assistance from the Nevis Island Administration. An individual may apply for financial assistance whether or not the individual is employed by the NIA. Interested persons must adhere to the following guidelines for applications: a cover letter addressed to Mr. Edson Elliott, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Human Resources, requesting financial assistance, and the letter should state the course of study, why you wish to undergo the field of study, and how the training will influence your professional development. How will your professional development contribute to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the commencement date and expected duration of studies. Please be reminded also that you're expected to have an original university acceptance letter. University applicants who have not yet received an acceptance letter, you're encouraged to still apply. So if you haven't received the acceptance letter and you get down to the deadline date, or you're getting closer to the deadline date, you can still apply. However, you should have some evidence that you applied or that the university has received your application. In most instances, universities would send an email acknowledging receipt of your application, or if you did an online application, most times you get a page that comes up that acknowledges receipt. Hopefully you did you saved it, or you did a screenshot of that so that you can share with the Ministry of Human Resources. You also have to provide a breakdown of your course fees for the respective from the university, and a completed financial assistance application form. Birth certificate or certificate of citizenship must be in division by birth or citizenship. Kindly note that the financial aid awardees will be required to fulfill bonding obligations with the NIA, and there is an application form that is available. You may reach out to the Ministry of Human Resources for that form, and you can contact Mrs. Shelley Jones-Libert or Miss Chanel Skeet for assistance. Also, I'm sorry, the deadline for this is 31st March 2023. It seems very far. It seems very far, but it is very close. And when it comes to financial assistance and scholarships, it's always wise to apply early to make sure that you take your time with the application process so that your form stands out among the rest. Okay? The next one, the University of the Virgin Islands Scholarship. The Government of St. Kitts and Nevis invites graduates of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, as well as the Nevis Sixth Form College to apply for the UVI scholarships. Persons who may have graduated years ago are certainly welcomed to apply. So if you graduated from CFBC or you graduated from the Nevis Sixth Form, you are welcome to apply. Scholarships are only available to graduates who are interested in undertaking studies at the UVI for a maximum of 4 years. The following documents are required to be delivered to the Ministry of Human Resources by Thursday, March 30th, 2023. So the two deadlines are really close. One is the 30th of March and one is the 31st of March. One original and 2 copies of your completed application form. One original and 2 certified copies of birth certificate. One original and 2 certified copies of your high school certificates of qualification. One original and 2 certified copies of college certificates of qualification. And one original and 2 certified copies of the university acceptance letter. Application forms are available at the Ministry of Human Resources, which is located on the 2nd floor of the Social Security Building, Pines Estate. If you have any questions or concerns, please remember you can reach out to Mrs. Shelley Jones-Liebert, Miss Chanel Skeet, or Mrs. Shanola Murray-Gill, and you can email them or contact them by phone. If you are in St. Kitts, Miss Jamila Adams, Human Resources St. Kitts, is your point of contact. And of course, there is a point of contact if you need assistance from the representative from the University of the Virgin Islands. We have a person who interacts directly with our applicants from St. Kitts and Nevis in the person of Dr. Eustace Esdale, and he is a professor of accounting in the School of Business, University of the Virgin Islands, and the email address sknrecruits@uvi.edu, or you can contact him via 664-7166. That's a local number, 664-7166, if you need that additional support or assistance. So please make sure that you pursue that if you're interested in pursuing further studies at University of the Virgin Islands. There are many opportunities out there, listeners, and as I say each time, it is very difficult for us to pay, especially with all of the other financial obligations. It's sometimes difficult to have to pay for tertiary education. So every opportunity that you get to secure some funding, we encourage you to take advantage of those. Additionally, we would like to share with you, I think I want to take the opportunity this morning to say congratulations before we move on, to say congratulations to the various PAN groups which participated in the recently held Panorama Championship. The first place went to EBJ Island Flavors EBJ Harmonic Steel Orchestra, and then all of the other spots I think were copped by groups from Nevis, and so I want to say thank you to them. We had the first runner-up, Young Vibrations Steel Orchestra. Second runner-up went to Poinciana Rhythms Steel Orchestra, and the third runner-up went to Wally Rhythms Steel Orchestra. So, as I said, we had several of our students here within our system and our young people within our island participated, and they were able to cop 3 of the 4 top positions, and that is no small feat. So congratulations to all of you young persons, your mentors, all of the persons who ensure that you're prepared and continue to play the steel pan. I'm one of the persons I love to hear the steel pan music, and I know many other persons do as well. So continue to participate and to do well, and we look forward to your continued success in this very important area. And music and arts, development of music and the arts is one that we know that we will continue to put more focus on, and commendations also, as I said, to the mentors, the arrangers, the group leaders and group managers who ensure that the students were practicing, the young people were practicing, and that they were able to participate, and as I said, cop some of the top spots. Okay, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I'm Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and I'm here to share with you this morning. We are sharing information, updates, and of course today is a special Saturday because, well, not only because it's December and close to Christmas, but it is the third Saturday of the month. So at the bottom of the hour, we will transition to the ECCB Children's Connection program, and we'll be joined at that point by our co-host for the ECCB Children's Connection, Ajay will join us, and we will of course be sharing some information, and everybody knows my favorite part of that segment. So my favorite owl will stop by and we will get a wise word, but that happens at the bottom of the hour. And so we will continue. As I said, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and I think that Christmas is a time, I know that Christmas is a time when we get so caught up in the hustle and the bustle. It's a time when we get caught up in much of the fray, and sometimes we lose sight of what is important. And so we have to remember, although we are seeing opportunities for further growth and for getting on our feet again, we have to be mindful that we have recently exited the brunt of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and so there are some families that are still having challenges. There are some persons who are still struggling, and we want to be mindful of that. And so parents, we're going to take some time also to walk through some ideas for you. I think that we should use this Christmas as an opportunity to teach our children. Recently we had a production through the Early Childhood Unit at the Department of Education, focusing on the virtues surrounding Christmas. The virtues were introduced by various preschools across the island, and I think the merit behind it is that we wanted parents to remember that this is a time, as I said, to teach some very important lessons. And so just as a quick recap, some of the virtues which we're focused on or include thankfulness, kindness, peace, hope, joy, patience, forgiveness, self-control, giving, faith, and love. And so even as we look at some of these, I want to hone in. Today is, I think it's the final VAT day. We've had more VAT days than usual this year, but we had one yesterday. We have the final VAT day today. I know most of us have shopped our hearts out. We've done all the shopping that we need to do, but I think that it is important for us as adults to remember and to model self-control, and to help our children also to understand that you have to be wise in everything that you do. I know, as I said, sometimes I kept asking myself, and I think about perhaps even some of our conversations via the ECCB Children's Connection, needs and wants. What do we need versus what do we want? And although we may have some fresh funds, and we have got some persons got paid early, some persons got their Christmas bonuses, and they're meant to, of course, reinvest into the economy. So that is encouraged. But how much self-control do we exercise is the big question. And sometimes we go. I think about going to all of the stores, and the entrepreneurs love this, and the store owners love this, and the corporations and organizations love this, because you go in, you have no list, you have no plan, you just have a little bit of money, or a lot of money, and you just pick up. And when you're finished, you realize you had so much more than you needed, because you didn't need anything when you got there. So anything more than nothing is too much. And so that is something that we encourage, especially during this season, all year round, to have a list, to know what you want. I go to the supermarket sometimes. I'm guilty. So I am not sitting here and pretending that I'm not guilty. I'm guilty. I go to the supermarket sometimes, and I don't have a list. And sometimes in my mind, I know I want just two things, or I want one thing. That's all I'm going for. I don't have a list. And I come out, I go in, I pick up a basket, and then halfway through I realize the basket is not big enough. I go and I get a cart, and I check out, and the one thing that I came to get, sometimes I exit without that one thing, by the way. Sometimes I leave without my one thing, but I end up with so many things. And so self-control, as I said, exercising and modeling it, especially at Christmas time, especially when we've gotten a few bonuses and a few extra funds, is of utmost importance, because remember, we're teaching our children to the habits that they would display over time. All right, so we want to make sure that we're mindful of that. And so parents, when you go to the store, and the same obtains now, of course you will be a little bit more liberal, a little bit more giving at this point, but make sure that you remember the two-letter word that might not be so well received at Christmas. It's called no. And I said to my colleagues yesterday, no is pronounced no in just about every language. There are a few languages that don't use the no as no, but they're in the minority. And so remember that children sometimes just have to hear no. I learned a lesson many years ago from one of my colleagues who said that she would tell her children no, not because she didn't necessarily have the funds, but because they had to understand that it's not everything in life that you can get. And many times we as adults feel that we were robbed of certain things during our childhood, and we don't want our children to have to deal with the same wants, some of the same emotions that we had growing up. But I think hearing no helps to mold us into persons who understand that, okay, sometimes it's a delayed response, meaning you can't have it today because I don't have the funds, or you can't have it today for whatever reason, but eventually you may be able to have it. Or it's something that we don't support in our household, so you will not have access to it ever. And so parents, just remember, set your limits. If you're going to invest $500 per child for the Christmas season, try to keep it at $500 per child for the Christmas season, and give. So if you're going to spend on gifts and you spend $300, then you have $200 for all of the other activities. Christmas Eve is next Saturday, and we know that we'll want to go down, and they'll want to buy the poppers, they'll want to buy all the different things. They want to walk around town and probably pick up some little toy that they will just. The interesting thing for me is that when children buy these toys from vendors, they use them one time. By the time they get home, they put them down, and that's it. But it's for the fun of it, as I said, and it helps to keep the economy going. So I get that. But as I said, exercise wisdom, exercise prudence, and model the best practices for your children. And my last point, as you do your Christmas shopping today as a final VAT day, or during the course of next week, or during Christmas Eve next Saturday, I want you to remember that Christmas is a time for giving, sharing. There are some persons who are still not as fortunate as we are, and each of us has our different levels of privilege, but there are some children who will not get anything at all for various reasons. Some of them, their parents have struggled through and they're just trying to recover. And so we want for you, I always encourage parents to sit with their children and determine who would we make a contribution to, or what would we make a contribution to for the Christmas season. It could be a next door neighbor who you know may be struggling, a family member who may have a child who may not get any toys or many toys for the Christmas. There are many of you, as you replenish your toy stack that doesn't need replenishing, you add more to it. Maybe what you can do is clean out some of them. So the good ones, they can be donated to either a person, a family, or even one of our services that serve persons and children in the community. So you might want to reach out, for example, to family services within the Ministry of Social Development, Departments of Social Services. You may want to reach out to one of the NGOs. For example, you may want to reach out to I'm trying to think about who we can reach out to. Red Cross. We can reach out to Red Cross. And as I said, several small community groups within the various communities. Reach out to them and share the toys that you have. They may know someone. We don't want you to give broken toys with the wheels missing. But if you have some that are in good shape, feel free to share them. We encourage you to share them with all of with anyone with whom you can share. And clothes are the same thing. Some of us, our closets, we can't get the doors closed, we can't get anything to fit. We know we're going to go online or we're going to shop before the 31st to beat that final day of duties from customs, those exemptions, and we're going to buy it, just getting our last hurrah. And so those clothes that don't fit, or those clothes that we haven't worn for a year and a half, 2 years, you're probably not going to wear it again anytime soon. You can find somebody to give it to make some space for you, and to help to bring some cheer to someone else. So parents, those are some of the small things that you can do to support the Christmas season, to teach your children some very important lessons. Family members, you can do the same. And I do not ever like to close out the Christmas conversation without saying, remember the adults, the godparents and the aunts and the uncles who have been molding your children throughout the year. Use this as an opportunity for your children to say thank you with a nice little Christmas card or something simple. You don't have to spend any money or exorbitant funds to make that happen, but teach your children gratitude, showing thankfulness, showing them that they're grateful to those persons who are contributing to their lives. And so on that note, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll transition to the ECCB Children's Connection. Please have your children up and ready. We know that there's a question and answer segment for the ECCB Children's Connection.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things, I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa,
SON vibrate. The whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
Connecting the children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to the ECCB's Children's Connection program. I'm your host, Zahnela Claxton, and with me is our co-host,
Ajerne Hodge. Good morning, everyone.
All right, and welcome, Ajerne. Welcome back. It's the third Saturday. It's always great to have you here on the third Saturday of each month, and this is the final ECCB Children's Connection program for 2022. And so we're going to be having tons of fun, learning about a very interesting topic. And before we get to that point, though, for dramatic effect, we're going to take a short break. And when we break and return, we'll have a lot of exciting things for our children.
Connecting the children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
And welcome to the ECCB's Children's Connection program, a program produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And today we will learn some interesting things about how to make people choices to get the goods and services they want. So grab your pencils, your notebooks, and get ready to take notes, because you can win. You can win fun prizes at the end of the lesson if you answer the questions correctly. All right, Ajerne, what do people buy a lot of during the Christmas season?
Okay, let me start strong and steady. We buy lots of gifts during Christmas,
Alright.
lots of food during Christmas, lots of furniture during Christmas, lots of clothes from online during Christmas. We buy so many things I can't even list all.
Wow, I know. Let me think. People even buy cars. It's a time when they save up all year, or maybe for 2-3 years, because they know there's a VAT day in December. And people buy vehicles also during Christmas. So do you think that stores sell a lot of some of the things that you mentioned? For example, a lot of clothes and toys. The stores, do you think that they sell a lot of those during the Christmas season?
Yes, I do, because they can make a major profit off of those things.
That's true. And so, Ajerne, tell our listening friends something that you and your friends buy most during this time.
During this time?
During Christmas time.
I don't really buy.
What about your friends? What are they spending on or investing on right now?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm not very sure. But in my household, my parents are spending, and we usually ask them for what we want during Christmas. So if we want a specific toy, we would say, Mommy, this Christmas I want this toy, or Daddy, this Christmas I want this toy. And depending on how things go, if we depending on how we have behaved throughout the year, like how Santa does his naughty and nice, we would get what we want. We would still get something, but if we behave the way we should behave, we will get something we really, really want.
Okay, I like that. So let's think of something let's think of a 5-year-old boy. What would most 5-year-old boys want for Christmas?
A battery-powered car.
Yes! The remote control battery powered car has been the age-old choice of boys for as long as I could remember, and probably before I even came into existence. As soon as you think of little boys and when they go to Christmas Eve night, they want a battery powered car. In fact, you know that during that time and when they're in preschool, they have the little gift that the parents take for the Christmas party. And they get that, they are happy. Then if they go to a Christmas tree lighting and they're getting gifts and they get a battery powered car on top of the one they had before, they're happy. And then if they get another one at Christmas Eve night, they're happy. And then if they get another one for Christmas morning, they're happy. They don't even care too much that all they got for the whole season were a series of battery powered cars.
They feel like the king of the world.
They just feel like the king of the world.
Yes.
And so how much do you think that a battery powered car probably costs about this time?
Well, if you take away the VAT, it should be around like maybe $90-$80. But if you leave on the VAT, it's probably the highest it can go. Like in our federation right now, I think it's 230 or somewhere there.
For cars?
Yeah, for
Well, those
cars.
are high-end cars.
They're
They
very
better be
expensive.
very high-end. They better be able to carry people. I'm just saying. But would you be willing to pay that high-end price for a battery-powered car, though?
Yeah.
Just to have it, yeah? Or just to,
yes.
to present it as a gift?
Yes, because it made me feel good.
Okay.
Because it's something that they really want, and they would stop bothering me after for that.
I know, right? And that's probably why the parents end up losing some of the self-control, because they're like, it's better than being bothered all the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know, Ajerne, that what you just described is very important, and it helps us to learn more about how people make choices. This is actually called a demand. Demand is how much people want or desire a good or service. The more people want a good or service, the higher the demand for it. We can also describe demand as how popular something is or how many people want it. So, in the example that we had about what people buy at Christmas season, especially when we're talking about the boys and the toy cars, do you think that the demand for this item will be high as Christmas is approaching?
Yes, I do. I really do. Because if you don't have that certain amount of cars, they must find a substitute. And once they find a substitute and they realize that the sales are getting lower and lower, they'll just come up with a new model, maybe a Jeep or something, and then they're gonna make it faster than it was before, so then everybody would want it again. But if it's not there for Christmas, they're going back to the substitute with the remote control car. So even at first you would lose, but after you would still win, because the substitute would start to be like the manual cars, like where you have to push or pull back and push, and they go instead of the remote controlled ones. But if they come up with something new during the year, and because birthdays go on and those things, special events, they would use it. But if when Christmas time comes and they don't meet the demand or the popularity that everybody wants to see, they're going to go back to the original model. So it's still a win-win.
It's still a win-win. So basically the demand is going to be high for cars this Christmas. All right. So the demand for the items will be high because a lot of people want them, in essence. So Ajani, let's see if we can give our listening friends some more examples outside of what we talked about so far of when demand is high. I'm going to give you some situations and tell me which items will be in high demand. This will be multiple choice. So I'll read I'll read the prompt, and then I'll give you the choices, and you'll tell me which one will be in high demand. Are you ready?
Yes.
Alright, so the first one. At the beginning of the new school term, which of these will be in high demand? Books and uniforms, televisions, toys.
Books and uniforms.
Books and uniforms. So we think of September, or at the end of August, when all of the parents flood the stores because they need to get books and uniforms. That is correct. Alright. At the Christmas season, which one of these items will be in high demand? Shoes, highest demand. Shoes, books, decorations and lights.
Decorations and lights.
Decorations and lights, and of course we love those because we're so Christmassy. But yes, those will be in high demand. For persons like me who thrive on shoes, they might be in high demand too, but not for the majority. And so when we think of the demand, we think of what the majority of people would want. Okay, at carnival time, which of these would be high in demand? Plants, bright and colorful costumes, or school bags?
Bright and colorful costumes, but it can be school bags too, because when you're on the street and you jam in, you will want something to hold your stuff.
Okay.
So it can be either or.
It can be either or.
But it's usually bright and colorful costumes.
Okay, awesome. The next one. The school bell has rung and it's lunchtime. Which of these will be in high demand? Food, notebooks, or pencils?
Food.
Because when that bell rings, everybody finds the nearest restaurant, especially in high school. And in primary schools, they mostly either run to get their lunch bags or they run to get to the cafeteria. And so food becomes the highest demand. So great job. Can you think of any examples to share with our listening friends, any other situations that we would have something in high demand?
Well, when the school bell has rung again, but it's time to go inside, everybody is rushing to find their school supplies, because sometimes where the notebooks or pencils drop, they stop and you just go for food. And you don't think back, and it's a bit careless, but you just want the food at that current moment, and you're so hungry, so you won't even think about the notebooks and pencils. But they usually run to get their seat and their books and so forth before the teacher reaches in the class to check attendance, because if you're outside after the bell or after the teacher reaches, you're late, and you don't want to get it late.
No. All right, so something else that is important to learn about the demand is how it affects prices of goods and services. When a good or service is very popular, or as we say, in high demand, many people often do not care about the price.
That's true.
They just want to get it. That's what's happening right now when I'm lamenting about Christmas time and spending, but you just want it. That's why demand plays a very important role in how businesses decide on the prices of their goods and services. The price of goods and services go up when the demand is high. When just a few people are interested in getting a good or service, in other words, when the demand is low, the price goes down. So, Ajurne, have you ever gone to the store or were just walking around town with your mom or your dad and you see a sign that says sale?
Yes, I do. Like on curtains.
Yeah. Right now, I think
during Christmas.
Yes.
I think during the first Fat Up in November, Rams had a sale. And then Best Buy has a sale on curtains right now.
Yes.
Because in the year, people don't really worry about curtains. So I think it's a win for the customers. They don't have to pay these bizarre prices for one curtain. They can get them at a lower percentage and a lower price than it was before, because they don't buy it during the year, but they buy a lot during Christmas, because everybody wants to make their house look new for the new year.
So do you think that perhaps the sale is a way to get the items that
out of the store?
So it's a win-win. The customer wins, and of
the
course
shop wins.
The shop wins. Yes, the owners win. Okay, and this often happens when you see that sale sign. This often happens when the demand of a good or service has gone down. The business therefore puts the item on sale. When many people are not purchasing a good or service, the demand goes down, so that the business tries to sell as much of it by lowering the price. And you would see that happening sometimes with certain food items as well. That they put them on sale because people are not purchasing them as much as they used to
brands
before.
too.
Or certain brands, yes. All right. And so, Ajurne, can you think of anything that is low in demand right now? Anything that is low in demand right now? People don't really care about purchasing so much right now.
Well, right now, people won't really care about purchasing, like... I'm thinking. Mattresses and beds and those different things.
Oh, those are. I don't know if they care about purchasing them, but I know that they buy them just because they're there. It's Christmas time and furniture is right there behind the list. But school uniforms might be low in demand right now because parents may have bags because parents may have bought them already in August, and so they would not necessarily need to buy a lot of them this time. So you might have 1 or 2 parents, but it wouldn't be in high demand. Okay, so let's see what we've learned so far. Demand is how much people want a good or service or how popular that item is at a particular time. Ajane, what did we learn about demand and prices?
Well, if the demand of that certain object is high, the prices will get higher each time, but if it's low, the prices will get lower.
Yes. So demand, therefore, listeners, affects the prices of goods and services. So that, as Ajane said, the higher the demand, you often notice that it's the higher the price. When the demand is low, the prices go down. Now that we have learned so much about demand, let's take a quick break before we find out what you, our listening friends, remember.
Connecting the children of our easy region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
Alright, so we're going to take a few minutes out of journey and we're going to ask some questions of our listeners. I know it's Christmas time. I'm hoping everyone isn't still asleep. It's a little chilly outside and our children seem to be going to bed late and waking up late. But parents, let them know that we've been talking about demand, and so we have some questions for our listeners. Please call us at 469-1616 or 469-1700, and the prizes for this week are compliments to Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. All you have to do is to be the first to answer one of the questions correctly. And the question 1, Ajane, you want to read question 1 for us, please?
Okay. Question 1 asks is, what is demand?
All right. What is demand? 469-1616, 469-1700. And of course, we've spoken a lot this morning about demand, and so we need someone to tell us or to define what is demand. 469-1616, 469-1700. And of course, we want to make sure that we make enough time for our friend to fly in. So we'll go ahead, Ajane, and ask the second. Okay, we have. Okay. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. What is demand?
Demand is how popular something is or how many people want it.
Ajane?
Yes.
That's correct. What's your name?
Tajana.
Tajana. Good job, Tajana. And you are very correct. What do you think is in high demand right now?
Mostly toys.
Toys, yes. Yes. All right. Have a great week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Question 2, Ajane?
What does demand help businesses control?
This is a big one. What does demand help businesses control? And let's throw in a second question so that we have 2 on the table. Ajane, what's the third question?
The third question is a true or false. Businesses often put items on sale because of high demand. True or false?
I'm hoping that we can get an answer for that one because it's a selection. So let's read that one again, Ajane. Oh, we have a caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Which question do you want to answer?
The true or false one?
Okay. Go ahead.
False. The answer is false.
Okay, you are correct.
And who are you speaking with?
My name is Tajana David.
All right. Thank you, Tajane. I love that Davids are up and ready and awake and alert this morning. All right, Ajana, repeat question 2 for us, please.
Question 2 reads, what does demand help businesses control?
Okay, what does demand help businesses to control? And let's read question 4.
And question 4 is another true or false. When the demand of an item is high, people often do not care about the price. True or false?
Okay, read it again, please, Ajani.
When the demand of an item is high, people often do not care about the price. True or false? And number 2, what does demand help businesses control?
Okay, so we have a true and false, and we have another question. All right. Good morning.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Which question do you want to answer?
Which question do you want to answer?
Turn your radio down.
Question 4.
Okay, turn your radio down and give us the answer to question 4. Listen to us on the phone, okay?
True.
Okay, what's your name?
Renaya Maynard.
Okay, I got Maynard. Renaya, how are you doing today?
I am good.
Wonderful. You're just knocking these out of the park these days. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, have a great week. Okay, so Ajane, I need to make sure that my pal can fly in. So what we'll do is make sure we allow my best friend on the ECB Children's Connection program. No, my second best friend on the ECB Children's program, since I can't knock out Ajane. And so we're going to turn over to Oliver.
Well, boys and girls, so nice of you to drop by to see your good friend Oliver. For those of you who don't know, that's my name. And right now, I am gathering some sticks to make a nest for my little ones. Why don't you give me a hand, boys and girls? Oh, well, that was quick. I was able to get through fast because you helped me. And that's our word for today in action. Helpfulness. This means being ready to give help whenever it is needed. Now let's get back to your host and remember to be helpful this Christmas season.
All right, so our wise word for today is one which is very common to us all, and it is helpfulness. Ajane, how would you explain helpfulness to someone, and what would you say helpfulness is?
I would tell someone that helpfulness is when you help somebody who needs the help, or just offering somebody help randomly. If you see somebody doing something, you should go and you can help them if it's something that you can help them to get through it quicker. And not go and mind their business or loiter, but actually help them with it.
You assist them, you aid them in some way. Yes. And do you think we should also, helpfulness is the practice of being kind to others in order to make things easier for them. So like you said, you're not loitering or gathering around, you're trying to make life easier for someone. You offer them the help they need if you are able to do so. It also makes us happy when we help others because we bring joy to them and make the world a more loving place to be. Do you think that we should only help people when they ask us to?
No, you can just get up and help people when you think they need it.
Okay, because sometimes people get a bit shy about being helpful.
Or they have too much pride to ask.
Yes, and sometimes people have too much pride to ask. So we do not have to always wait for them to ask us for help. Like Ajane said, sometimes they might have a bit of pride. If we notice that someone needs help, we can simply offer to help them. For example, if your friend falls into the schoolyard while playing, you can help him or her. And I know in our new age, people might just stand there and laugh or point or pull out their phone, but this is the perfect time to be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, Ajane, and I have a very important question about helpfulness. What should you do if someone asks you to help him or her do something that is wrong?
Well, you should use your conscience, and hopefully your conscience tells you the right thing, and you just tell them, no, I can't help you because it's something wrong, and I don't think you should do it either.
Yes.
So you move away from the situation and you try to bring them with you out of that situation.
Yes, because sometimes people, for example, might ask you to help them steal something, boys and girls, or they might ask you to help them carry a package that has an illegal substance in it, right? Might have asked you to help them to deliver something that you don't know what is inside of it, and they might ask you to help them cheat on a test. They might ask you to help them do things that are not right, and so we have to avoid helping persons to do things that we know are wrong, because both you and that person can end up in serious trouble. So how are some of the ways that you can be helpful at home, school, or in your community, Ajane?
You can be helpful in school by cleaning up the classroom if you make a mess, and you realize it's a cleaning day for some certain people, but only one of them are cleaning. You can go and you can assist them with the cleaning. At home, you can do your chores you're supposed to do, so you wouldn't have your parents having to say, come here and get up and do this, come here and get up and do that, but you do what you need to do and what you know is right, so everybody doesn't have to feed you and tell you what to do. In your community, if you realize somebody is doing something they're not supposed to do, you can be like a community activist, and you can help them. You can go out, you can have a rally, tell them, keep our community clean, no littering, don't do this, smoking or violence isn't needed in this community. We're trying to make the world a better place, so you have to stop what you're doing right now and do something that you know will really help the community. Don't just think about yourself, but think about everybody.
Awesome. And so now that we've learned so much about helpfulness, we hope that you will practice it with your friends, boys and girls, with your friends and family. Remember, helping others makes them happy and makes you feel good about yourself. But it is important to note that you would never help someone do anything wrong. We have come to the end of the ECCB's Children's Connection program, and then, as I said, the last one for this year, and we're so happy that you could join us today. We learned a lot about demand and about helpfulness. On the next program, we will learn about demand's twin brother supply. Be sure to tune in and to listen all the time, and we want to hear about the twin brother supply. So until we meet again, I'm your host, Zahnela Claxton.
And I am your co-host, Ajane Hodge.
Have a wonderful and safe holiday season.
And let's talk to you again soon. But until then,
be helpful and stay connected.